Hello everybody. Let me tell you about the journey we have been on and why SAP GLUE is such a game changer for us. We live in an era defined by unprecedented technological achievements and digital transformation. Every aspect of our lives, from the way we communicate to the way we conduct business, has been revolutionized by the power of data. Data has become the lifeblood of organizations, fueling innovation, enabling data decisions, unlocking opportunities that were once thought unimaginable. So what has changed? The volume of the data has changed. It is coming in faster and almost exponentially. The velocity of which it's coming in and how fast users want to consume it has changed. And also the variety has changed. It's not relational databases anymore. It's now unstructured data as well as the Internet of Things. The world is increasingly becoming data-driven, with companies relying on data to make informed decisions and gain a competitive edge. So this is me, Roger Pearson, Director of Global Data Analytics for Smith and Nephew, based in the United Kingdom. Today, I'm working with senior stakeholders to deliver actionable insights on business value using data and visualization technologies across all data domains. Business value does come in all shapes and sizes, from large-scale data platforms to CEO KPI reporting packs. Data analytics does feel part of me and almost part of my DNA. I've spent over 20 years in the data analytics field and have a passion and drive that has not diminished, only increased. I operate under 5 key drivers: communication, technological understanding, strategic thinking, business experience, and leadership. What keeps me grounded on a daily basis is not only my family, but my trusted companion, Ted, a border terrier, and we could all do with a little bit more Ted of our lives. So Smith and Nephew, this is what we do. We are a portfolio medical device technology business focused on repair, regeneration, and replacement of soft and hard tissues. We exist to restore people's bodies and their self-belief by using technology to take the limits off living. We call this purpose Life Unlimited. A big company. We are in over 100 countries. We operate 3 global franchises, from orthopedics to sports medicine to wound management, as well as robotic surgeries. We have 18,500 employees around the world. We're in the FTSE 100 index, and our turnover for 2022 was $5.2 billion. In today's fast-paced world, data is everything. Companies and organizations rely on data to make informed decisions, improve processes, and more importantly, boost their bottom line. However, data is often spread all across the enterprise, across multiple sources, making it difficult to analyze and make sense of. So the 2 areas exist: data engineering, developing robust data pipelines to bring data into one place, but also value engineering, leveraging that data to deliver business value and data-driven decisions. The 2 together can help businesses gain a better understanding of their customers, identify areas of improvement, create efficient processes, and a more holistic view of their operations. So unlocking the power of unified data leads to better insights and smarter decisions. Our journey revolves around global supply chain. Effective supply chain optimization requires a deep understanding of various factors that impact the movement of product, from start to end. One of the key factors in supply chain optimization is the identification of potential bottlenecks in the process. And as you can see, there are many more. This isn't our first rodeo. Smith and Nephew have had numerous supply chain projects in the past, but none have ever completed their required outcome or created the loop that is required. The process deliverable seems quite straightforward. Manufacture the right product in the right quantities, in the right location, or source it from a third-party supplier. And to distribute that product to the local or global distribution centres to get it to that end customer. If that all works correctly, this means a medical practitioner or surgeon is able to then improve the patient's life. So our project came up with a set of requirements or objectives. Number one, learn lessons from our previous projects. We had many failures in many areas and made sure we weren't going to repeat them again. Have only one third-party processor instead of several. Address the many data quality issues that exist across the enterprise. Deliver the full cycle of processing, not just gathering the information and seeing it, but being able to then bring the information back in and produce production planning orders. Use cloud technologies, all the latest rage. And also extract it from 17 ERP systems. So we assembled a project. All the way down from the executive steering group, through many business teams, down to the third-party processor team. In this endeavor, there were over 100 people participating. We started blueprinting the process, agreeing some key principles along the way. One mantra always remained: design for many changes, and boy, did we have a lot of changes. We had hundreds and hundreds of changes from what we first thought in the beginning. And then design what do the inbound processes look like. So this is where the data comes back from that third-party processor. At the same time, we had a number of digital transformation projects to contend with. This meant that we had to utilize cloud-based technologies instead of our on-premise tools. So for that, we picked Snowflake as a leading supplier of database in the cloud, which we refer to Oracle as on steroid, because it was 2x Oracle people who put it together. And Informatica Cloud Services for the orchestration and extraction. Then we move on to the data sources. Smith and Nephew do not have one of anything. Actually, that's not quite true. They have one Workday and one Active Directory, but that's where it ends. We actually have 23 source systems for sales. So, not a fun time. And as you can see, SAP is our biggest data source. You know, we have 5 versions of SAP. We have 5 SAP instances on 4 different versions. So still an absolute challenge for us. So that then means we created standard data pipelines to be able to pull that information through and land it and stage it. Within that staging area, we then had to create SQL views to harmonize that source data into a common format. But this is where the business mappings are, and it's the true heart of the solution. So we created the consistent SQL views to meet the data product requirement. A data product is refreshed as each slice of a source system completes in our pipelines. Data tolerance checks are made for plus or minus 10% to make sure we've got consistency and quality. And if all is well at that point, files are created, transferred, and sent to the third-party processor, who then ingest and process them. So our inbound process is where the real value is achieved from this solution. Once processed by the third party, the build, the buy, the pull, the local distribution center, the global distribution center plans are received for each manufacturing plant. These are then interfaced into our ERP systems as production orders, 5 SAP systems and 5 Microsoft Exapta systems. So I think a slide of numbers, I see today everybody's doing slides of numbers. I did resist the urge to put this into Power BI because the raw numbers speak for themselves as is. And when you look through it, it might not seem as big as Eon or Siemens, but to us, these are big numbers. 19 source systems, 804 source system tables, 298 SQL views, 30 data product tables, up to 30 files sent to the processor, but it's where the numbers become important. An initial load of 8.6 billion rows, fine, for initial load is good. But our daily extraction is 3.2 billion rows per day and done once a day. Between 47 and 87 million files sent to the processor. Timeline from start to sending the files, we got it down to 5 hours from somewhere like 34 hours when we first started. And supporting the 10 inbound processes, 69 inbound files, and having to make 75 enhancements to our SAP systems along the way. So we got results. We got results we expected. We got results we didn't quite expect. Tackling the once thought impossible harmonization of our unit of measure helped us bring trust to the data. And after much data cleansing, we were able to change internal system processes. And there's one more thing. Haven't talked about SMP GLUE at this point. So I've taken you on a journey of where this large-scale data and value engineering initiative. But innovators never stop innovating. Ingesting this amount of data just did not seem credible to me on a daily basis. So going into the festive season, I had a meeting with SNP and to discuss our pain points. What did we really feel? But at that point, the meeting didn't really pique my interest. So with the festive season over, and I think in a good mood, I took a sales call in January. And we ran through this slide. The marketing team, please don't shoot me. This is my version of several slides across SMP, but I've had to use this for marketing inside my company to sell the solution. We discussed that the requirement was actually still there and ran through the features as shown. And some of them, you look at them and think, right, break down data silos. Yes, sounds good. Modern data ingestion, powerful and lightweight. Yep, integrated. Leverage the SMP ecosystem. Didn't know what that was at that point. SAP certified, absolutely mandatory. There was no way we could implement anything like that. Native configuration, which I didn't fully understand at the time, and enabling the intelligent enterprise. But after 55 minutes of that call, we got to the light bulb moment, which was data extraction using SAP table triggers. But you might say, why is this important? You know, why get excited about it? Why put in SMP GLUE? Well, the reason was we actually started building the next version of the platform whilst we're in the middle of building version 1. We couldn't wait because the requirements were too large within our company. So the next version that's actually in build and gone live is to replace our 7 large data warehouses with 1. Reduce the data ingestion costs from Snowflake and Informatica. You can imagine ingesting 3.2 billion rows a day is very expensive Snowflake-wise, which is why our Snowflake bills are over $16,000 a month, very high for what we're doing. We needed to increase the number of data sources and data tables. So where we're ingesting 860 or whatever tables now, we're moving into the realms of 4,000 and 5,000 tables a batch. Increase the frequency of ingestion. There is the goal of the VP of Data Analytics to make sure we can ingest at least every hour, which again, might seem like not a big deal, but we are a global company. To be able to deliver the information on change of each time zone to each business unit is absolutely pivotal to that business unit. And because of that, did an evaluation of 14 tools and 8 proof of concepts. This might sound incredible, but when you start looking at extraction processes for SAP, they're all difficult. Some tools want you to upgrade various things in the architecture. We were on 5 different systems, so that just isn't possible. And making those changes meant many, many millions of dollars to do that. So we were unable to do anything. So got onto a technical call with the SMP GLUE team, who were exceptionally patient with me. And as you can see here, I went through the entire solution on a 2-hour call. Top to bottom, asked every single question, ran through the requirement in granular detail. And they managed to answer over 95% of my questions, actually on the call. Being willing to explore, go into the various back end of the system, showing me that it actually did work and give us that confidence. But this is where the game-changing moment came for us. The value derived from data extraction volumes. These are the volumes we're extracting with Informatica. Because of the issues we have with extracting using that tool, we had to do majority of full loads on tables, which is crazy when some of the tables are 400 million rows plus, because we've got old systems. So that is primarily full load and some delta processes. But that equates to 97 billion a month, or 1,168 billion a year, which I think is 1.1 trillion. But I was trying to keep it in the same picture at least. When it comes to SAP GLUE, because of the way the warehouse is designed, we can easily see what our delta changes are. That volume plummets all the way down to 50 million a day, 1.5 billion a month, and 1.18 billion a year. That is a reduction of 98%. So ingesting 3.5 billion rows of data a day less. So it's not just about reducing the rows, it's about a massive reduction in the ETL processing costs that we were incurring. Massive reduction in Snowflake warehouse costs, because you always pay for the first 5 minutes on Snowflake, so again, very expensive. And enabling us to get those faster batch processing times that we were looking for. So I wanted to call out one key feature to just let everybody know about. SAP table and field names are not easy. In fact, they're difficult for business users and data analysts. You know, table names such as CABN, KNA1, or I think that's a question of pling there, BSEG, KONV, MSEG, it goes on. But it doesn't mean anything to anyone unless you go onto the internet and browse what the name is. It's very hard. There is within the Glue solution a feature that lets you change that. So instead of bringing into your Glue table the actual short name, you can replace it with the short text of the description field, as you can see here. So that means when your data is extracted and you push it into whatever data warehouse or database you're doing, it's business consumer friendly names, eliminating the step of transformation in data consumption, because everyone is transforming it into the business language. Let's keep going. This value engineering makes it much easier because those standard names are used. So users find it so much easier. So I wanted to leave you with 5 calls to action. And yes, I know there's 6 on the slide, but when I started, believe me, there was 5. One is, if you're working in sales, try one more call. Just one more call. That's what Robin Webster managed to do. He made one more call to me in January and said, look, I've given up, have you? And I said, no, my pain points are here. So I could say, please try that. Never underestimate the value of up-to-date SAP data. Having more up-to-date data means you can make faster business decisions, actually affect it. If you're only extracting once a day, you can only see the impact of the decision in the next 24-hour cycle. So changing that, it makes a difference. Sounds straightforward, but adopt a Delta-first approach. Full business engagement is mandatory, not desirable. That's a lesson we learned at the beginning when they thought it was desirable, but it turned out it needed that. We needed the management to be able to control the decisions and make change within the business. There is no such thing as too much data quality activity. In fact, there's never enough. And what can I say? SAP data ingestion does not have to be painful. So as you've heard our journey, SAP GLUE clearly has become a game changer for us. Thank you very much.